Hey, Peter, how's it going?
Hey, Kwame, good.
So everyone, again, we're going to be getting started shortly. We have about 45 participants already on the call, on the Zoom, should I say. We're going to ask everyone to keep their lines muted. We're also going to ask you to make your comments in the comment chat box feature. I will get to all of your questions at the end of the presentation, and we will also open up the floor at the end of the presentation for any questions that anyone has. But again, we thank everyone for joining. Feel free to turn on your video. Would love to see as many faces as possible. Hopefully you can see me clearly. Can you, Peter? Great. And you can hear me as well. Just checking. Hey, Randy.
Yep, good.
Hey, Sarah. So no one be shy. You know, show your video. We won't talk about your house if it's not as clean as it's supposed to be. I promise. All right, so we're going to dive right in. Again, thank you everyone for joining our State of the Agency. We wanted to take a moment just to update everyone on everything that Big Brothers and Big Sisters have been up to amidst all of the current events, but also the COVID crisis that we are dealing with. We've been sending out emails and different notifications, but we thought it'd be a great idea to just get together and have a conversation. We have bigs on the line, we have staff, we have board members. Big shout out to Peter Lauer, our board chair, and Randy Tanner, our vice chair. We also have funders. We have just different folks who are involved with Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and we thank you all for taking some time to chat with us today. Again, if you have questions, put those questions in the chat feature, and at the end of the call, I will open up the floor for questions. And if you can, please mute your line as we go through the presentation. So I wanted to start off to just really address a lot of the current events that are going on in the country right now as it relates to police brutality and racism and just challenges that are just tearing our country apart. Many of you all have seen my AJC article that Michelle Pierce on our team and I worked together on to really talk about some of the challenges that we face as a country, but also to shine the light on the work that we do. In this piece, I featured a piece of my story of being a young person that made mistakes and went to jail, and had a mentor in my life who actually was a white male named Coach Maynard, who was a great guy and helped play a big role in getting me to where I am today and going to college and making the best of my life, and then dedicating my life to service to help young people not make the same decisions I made. And what we wanted to get across in that piece was also that we want Big Brothers and Big Sisters to be a place for healing, a place for conversations, and also a place for support. I encourage you, if you have not, to check out the article that's in the AJC. You can see the link there where you can actually go and see the full article. But we wanted to let everyone know, all of our supporters, everyone that's involved with Big Brothers and Big Sisters, that we are aware of what's going on and we are standing up to be a part of the solution and go against any racism or bigotry or police brutality. It's not right. The reality is that over 95% of the kids that we serve are students of color. So these are issues that we are hearing from our bigs about. These are issues that we're hearing from our families and students about. And we want to be a resource to them and be a place of support and healing. As I mentioned, I see mentoring as a solution. If you think about it, I can't think of many organizations that bring together the number of adults and kids together in very intentional relationships that change both people, relationships that bring people from different backgrounds together. I was looking at our statistics, and 44% of our bigs right now, of the 1,400 roughly bigs we have, are African American. 42% are white, 4% are Hispanic, and 10% are other. So we're bringing people from different races together in very intentional relationships. And we see that as a solution, but also an opportunity where we can provide more support to our bigs. As I mentioned, we're getting tons of calls and outreach, not only from our bigs, but also from our staff on how they can navigate the times that we're in and be educated and be supportive in ways to the bigs. So what we're gonna do is be providing much more in-depth training to our staff internally, starting internally first, to make sure our staff are equipped to be able to answer the questions that come in about different racial issues and about different topics that we're facing as a country today. So again, I want us to continue to be a solution. I want us to continue to be a part of the conversation. So these are some of the things that we can do to take action together. As I mentioned, 97% of the kids we serve are children of color. So we have to be a part of this conversation. We are going to be hosting a session for our students, some of our littles, this week, where they can talk about the challenges they face and what their perspectives are on things, and provide an opportunity for them to have those conversations. We hear a lot from the adults in all these conversations. You hear from people like me, you hear from celebrities and all types of things. But I think we also need to hear from young people and hear what they think and hear how these things are affecting them and provide them a space to do that. So we're going to be doing that here locally, here in Atlanta. We're going to not just have one, we're going to have multiple. We've had internal conversations as a staff. We've provided opportunities for staff just to talk about the challenges they're facing and what's on their heart. We've been talking a lot about changing the heart of America, changing the hearts of people. And I think through mentorship that can happen. There are a lot of policies and new laws and things that really go at protecting people from being discriminated against and racism. But there are still cases where situations happen. And at the end of the day, it's about the person and the people. And if you can have as many laws and policies as you want, but if that person's heart is not changed, they will not follow those laws and implement those policies, even if they're there. It is against the law to, put your knee on someone's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, but that didn't prevent that from happening. So I think we have to change the hearts of America, and we can do that through the work that we do at Big Brothers and Big Sisters. We encourage you to visit our website. We have a page where you can get involved. You can become a big. You can make a donation. We've had a lot of people reach out and thank us for the article and the work that we're doing. I encourage you to direct your friends and others to these locations, to the website as well, so they can see how they can get involved and see that the work that we're doing to be a part of the solution and also take action. So shifting to COVID, who would thought in our lifetime we would be facing all these challenges at one time? It's almost like a perfect storm. When COVID first happened a couple months ago, all of us were caught off guard. We had to pivot as an organization. We immediately started to work from home. Our staff are still working from home. I'm here in the office right now. There's no one else here. We're now starting to transition staff back into the office safely. We had to think about how could we support our bigs and littles. There was a lot going on, but I'm happy to share that our team, in particular our program team, has done an amazing job pivoting to really make sure we support bigs and littles. We've been communicating with them. We've provided resources. Our staff are right on the front line. Our bigs on this call right now today are on the front line. Many of you all were getting requests about food, basic needs, housing, things that our littles were facing every day. And we want to continue to be a resource to make sure if those are challenges that are still existing, that we can connect all of you all to the right resources through our community partners with the food bank or other organizations that we work closely with to make sure that our bigs and littles have the right support that they need. As a part of this, we launched our Frontlines Big fundraiser campaign to raise support to continue to do the work that we do. The reality is, because of COVID, we had to cancel a number of our events. We had to cancel our bowling event. We had to cancel our fashion show event. Many of you all have taken part in these events over the years. And we launched this campaign to go out and raise money so that we can continue to keep our doors open and support bigs and littles. Through the COVID challenge, we estimate that we would have about $1 million shortfall this year. That is a big number. I am also happy to share, as a part of that, we were the first organization, the first charity in the state of Georgia, the first organization in the state of Georgia, for-profit or nonprofit, that received the PPP loan, the payroll protection loan. And a big hats off to our board member, Mark Tipton with Iberia Bank, who was a big help in helping us get that loan and be the first person, first organization. And also a big shout out to our CFO, Paul Schenk, who navigated all these things. Very difficult process. But this enabled us to receive $540,000, which helped with that big gap. But we still have a gap to make up. And we continue to make a push and ask for donations and support. And it doesn't have to be huge. It's $20, it's a recurring gift. All these things help us continue to do the work that we do. So we're going to continue to push through these challenging times. But I wanted to be very transparent with everyone, all of our supporters, about what we're facing and what COVID has created for our organization. I love the picture there you see on the right. That's one of our frontline bigs who's a paramedic involved in the work, and we wanted to highlight her. So we also launched a virtual mentoring program. We are now operating in a new world. We are now in a new normal. Things will never be the same. We will now have to operate in a new normal. And we've realized that as an organization. And because of that, we had to really pivot, and we've launched what we call our new virtual mentoring program. This is something we didn't have before. And, hats off to Natalie and the program team under her leadership to just really make this come to life in a short period of time. So now our bigs and littles are interacting and connected through virtual. We know access is still a big challenge. We're talking to our partners. One is Power My Learning, a great organization that provides devices and training for families to make sure our families do have the access so they can continue to connect with their big. We know that about 70% of our families have some form of device and internet in the home, but that leaves about 30% that do not. And we're continuing to try to meet that demand. But we are making virtual matches. We are continuing to do the work. Right now, you can continue to become a big or a big sister or a big brother. You can continue as a student to be enrolled in our program. All of these things are happening virtually. I was happy to take part in our graduation this past week. We had over 30 seniors graduating. Many of our seniors, all of them, should I say, had to not go through the normal process of graduating and walking the stage. That's a very important stage of your life. It was very important for me because I thought at one point I wouldn't get there, but I did, and I got there on time. So we did a virtual graduation. We had all our bigs and littles, and it was a great celebration. And we had speakers, and it was a great time. And now they're off on doing great things. We gave out some scholarships as well. So again, we're continuing to leverage technology as best that we can to do our virtual orientations, our trainings, our interviews, to make matches and continue to support matches. If you're having challenges as a big, and reach out to your match support specialist, we're here to support you as well. And again, if you have questions, put those in the chat and I will address them when I get through the presentation. Here's just another picture of one of our bigs and littles, Dallas and Austin, been matched for a while, and they're really using virtual in a very innovative way. Dallas and Austin are, doing their schoolwork together. Dallas is getting encouraged and just getting the support he needs to be able to continue his schoolwork. So this is just one example of what's happening all across the city. We're setting up virtual outings. We're setting up, I saw some bigs and littles going to the San Diego Zoo, doing a virtual tour of the zoo there. We had one of the Hawks players, John Collins, their starting forward, do a virtual workout with our bigs and littles. So we're just doing as many things as we can to navigate the times that we face. And if you're doing things innovative and cool, please share those with us as well, so we can share those stories. Skip ahead too much. So we also are continuing to look forward to the future. We're not just focusing on today. As an organization and a board, we have come together to map out our strategic vision for the future. And there are a few things that I really want to highlight, but you'll see here some of the circles that really show what we're trying to achieve as an organization. And it's really about serving more kids. How do we grow to support 1,700 kids by 2024 is what we're focusing on. And we're going to do that in a few ways. I've talked a lot about some of our training and increased support to our bigs and littles. We're going to do that. We're going to be working with different types of youth who have different challenges, whether it be foster care or kids who are involved in the criminal justice system already, providing an alternative there. We're continuing to push forward to do as many things as possible to support Atlanta better. The reality is Atlanta is continuing to change families are moving outside the city, further outside the city. There are a number of challenges that we continue to face as an organization. If you think about it, we cover all 12 counties, and we have one location here in Midtown. As I mentioned, I'm sitting here in the office right now, and we've been thinking a lot about that. And many of you all know that about 8 months ago, we decided to put this building on the market to sell it. And there were a number of reasons why we did that, but it was all about, at the end of the day, how can we serve more young people? And we are happy to share that we're getting very close to selling the building. The building is currently under contract. And what we're going to do with those resources is have a totally different service delivery model on how we serve Atlanta. And what I'm going to show you on this next slide is just a visual of that. You'll see that we know exactly where our bigs and littles live. And we know that we need to be more embedded in those communities. So instead of being in one location, centralized, we're actually going to be able to have different satellite outposts in different parts of the city to make sure we can better serve community and better be embedded in these of support and recruit bigs and recruit families and make more matches at the end of the day. So that's what we're all about. We wanted to give you a snapshot of our strategic plan. Again, we're continuing to push through all the challenges that we face as a country. We're continuing to push through COVID and figure out innovative ways to continue to thrive as an organization. And I'm just happy to work with such a talented team, many of them are on this call right now, who continue to be innovative, continue to be supportive of each other as we push through these times. So I'm going to pause and open it up for questions. I'm going to look through the chat feature. You can unmute yourselves. Again, I want to plug the website where you can learn about how you can get involved in the things that we're doing right now and make a donation, become a big. I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to continue to share the word with others that you know and help just continue to grow the movement that we have established here at Big Brothers Big Sisters. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to look at all the videos here. And I want to open it up for discussion, for questions. We have about 61 people on the line right now. Feel free, have just some insights or reflection you want to share. But I'm here, wanted to be here personally to be able to talk to you about what we're doing as an organization here at Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Just had a question about some of the policies going forward.
Yep, just introduce yourself and then ask your question.
Cool. Hey, this is Cosmo, and I'm a very proud big of 13 months. And I'm really proud to be on a team being led by Kwame. Kwame is an incredible story. He's an incredible person leading us through some incredible times. So just wanted to check to see if we're going to still just continue to go forward, Kwame, and just keep it virtual with the littles until further notice, or?
Yeah, so what we're doing is following the CDC guidelines around that. We sent out an email to all the bigs recently, and Natalie is on the line. You may be able to chime in on this as well.
I did try to get through some of that, yes. Okay.
Yeah, and we made some suggestions around how to do that. We encourage you all to work with the parent to make sure they're comfortable with any interaction you decide to do. We're continuing to support matches virtually right now and make matches virtually. We're not making any in-person matches currently right now.
Cool. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Kwame. I have a question. Hi, it's Mark. So I'll look on the website, but just since you're here, I'll ask, what's the length of time it takes to become a big, and what's the commitment? Is it 1 year, 2-year commitment? Just a little bit about that, perhaps?
Yep, so it's a great question. There's a 1-year commitment, Mark. We know that if you come into a young person's life and leave within a year, you can actually do more harm. We ask for a minimum of 8 or 10 hours per month that you spend with the young person. And the process, a lot of it depends on you and your availability. There are a number of steps from orientation to interview to application to the training that you go through until making the match. And that can range. It can range, 3, 4, up to 8, 9 months, depending, your availability to meet those requirements and to go through those steps.
Thank you.
And you can start your orientation by going to our website. You can do a virtual orientation right now. You can do a group orientation, or you can sign up for individual orientation, which is the first step. So you go to our website, you click Become a Big, and you sign up for your orientation.
Great. Thanks.
Hi there, this is Joanna Gaither. I serve on the Fashion Play Committee. I just wanted to know, I know everyone's talking about how there's a new norm coming about, and virtual is going to be more of a to-do moving forward. And I just want to know if there's been any discussions about virtual fundraising. You know, some organizations are making their galas and everything virtual. Want to know if that's something that you guys have been talking about. And also in that instance, even if the guidelines was to take place that folks are meeting again, do you see virtual mentoring as a new avenue moving forward to encourage more mentorship?
Yes, I think we've been learning a lot, and I always try to look at the positive of any challenge, And what we've learned is that virtual mentoring it can work. There are a number of our cities around the country that have already been doing it. We've just been focused on community-based and our site-based programs in schools and in companies. But now virtual mentoring is going to be a part of our programming moving forward. And we're thinking about how that could help us connect bigs that may be in different parts of the city, and just being very creative. So yes, it will be continue to be a third part of our programming, community-based, site-based, and now virtual mentoring. Yes, we're doing a lot of things through digital online fundraising. We had our Frontlines campaign, Bigs campaign we launched. We raised about $20,000 there. Our Legacy Gala, which is our biggest fundraiser, is going to be virtual this year. Virtual with actually in person, sort of a hybrid model, where we're going to host about 20 different parties around town with small groups of 10 people who will be a part of the gala. And we'll then broadcast virtually like we're doing right now with entertainment. We'll do our fundraising, we'll do our speeches and testimonies. All of that are auctioning, all those things will be done virtually with those small groups around the city. So you can find out more information about our Legacy Gala and all of our events online on our website. But thank you for that question. I'm going to go to the chat and answer a couple questions that have come in. There was a question about a student that may not be an exact fit for a sister or a brother as it falls in terms of their gender identity. What I'll say to that is that we support all children, regardless of their gender identity. So if you have a young person who wants to get involved in our work, please go to our website, get them signed up, and we'll have a staff person reach out and get them enrolled. There's a question here about the youth forum that we're going to have. There's a person here from St. Louis, and they want to know if they can be involved. So we sent this out to our kids, so it's only going to be kids in this forum. No adults. We've been very intentional about that. We want to create a safe space for them to share what's on their heart and what's going on as it relates to their world. So we will share parts of that, clips, testimonies from that forum. I'm actually going to look to do another article, and it's going to be around giving the youth their voice on these topics. Zach posted, you can sign up to become a big on our website, but also reach out to him, Zach, who is our director of recruiting. So any other questions? I feel like we just should hang out and have a party, man. We got 60 people on the line, we can just kind of kick back and, what's going on, what's everyone doing this weekend, but no. We have
I actually have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
I might have joined the meeting late. I apologize.
No problem.
If you touched on any of these issues. Do you have resources for mentors or have any advice on how to speak to your mentor in an age appropriate level about the issues that we're dealing with right now in society, as far as like police brutality, systemic racism, things like that. Especially coming from a non-person of color and speaking to your mentor who is, her and I mean, we've been together for about 5 years now. So, you know, we have a lot of conversations about a lot of different things. And that's just some tools or some resources would be helpful for me to touch up on if she does come to me with questions about that.
No, Brittany, it's a great question. We're getting a lot of that. And as an organization, this was sort of a wake-up call to us that we need to make sure we provide better support around the topics that you're talking about. So there are a couple of things we're going to do. The staff here are going to be going through training so they become well-versed in answering that question directly and providing you resources. But in the interim, what we're going to be doing, and we're also going to be providing training for all new bigs, but also existing bigs who want to learn more about these topics. We're going to be sending out a FAQ, a document that has a list of sort of answers to basic questions, some of that you brought up. It's also going to have a list of definitions of like police brutality, systemic racism, all the different things that are, you know, right in front of us right now. We're going to be sending that out, but also a link with different resources and places you can go to educate yourself on the topics. Because I think it's very important for us to be educated when we do address these very complicated and emotional and controversial topics. And what we want to do is not take a position and not make this political, but just provide resources and support on topics so that you're prepared as a big when you go out there and your little is answering these questions. So stay tuned. I encourage you to reach out to your match support specialist right now, and we'll make sure you get the support you need and answers to those questions.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? I was just looking at the chat. And we're going to do this more often, you know, really just provide an opportunity to talk to you in live, you know, field questions live. You know, we send out emails and that's cool, but we really want to talk to you all about what's going on with us and just keep you in the loop as we continue to go through each month. Things are definitely getting better around COVID. I hope that continues. I hope we can continue to open up as an organization and as a country. But as things happen, we'll just continue to create this space and time to provide updates and you know, answer, you know, tough questions and whatever questions you have, we'll take those on. And you know, we can't do this without you guys. You all make this all possible, all of our bigs and all of our supporters, our board members. So we appreciate you all for continuing to stick in there with us. I always say our best days are ahead of us, and I truly believe that. We'll continue to keep you updated on the building and what we do with our move and relocation. And I'll just pause again and see if there's any other questions. But if not, I will let you get back to your day. It's pretty sunny out right now. And, you know, I'm just hoping everybody continues to stay safe, stay healthy, and, you know, make the best of the remainder of this week. So any last questions? All right. Well, thanks for joining, everybody. Appreciate you guys. You know where to find us if you need anything. Take care.